Hey guys, Shivai, what's up? So, not a bad backdrop there, is it? Didn't get those back in the UK, shooting the first videos of my YouTube channel near my parents' house. I was just thinking about that because I thought I need to do some more walking videos, like show you guys some of Peru that I might not normally show you. I was gonna go down there and like show you this little rural village. It's really cool, and some of the Inca agricultural terracing, which is a really cool spot. But I realised down by the river isn't a great place when it's windy. And if you've ever made videos, you'll know that wind is a pain in the bleep for making videos. So, how's it going, guys? I hope you are all well. So, is humanity ready for extraterrestrial contact? Hola. So I was just thinking, they're probably more ready here, like those two kids down there. You can see right in the distance there. They walked past and they said, "Señor, buenas tardes," which means, "Sir, good afternoon, sir." And you don't get that in the UK of kids. They get rocks thrown at you instead. So, a better title might be, is humanity ready for extraterrestrial contact next year? Because if we were ready for extraterrestrial contact already, it would have occurred, in my understanding, because the ETs are monitoring us like all the time, like very intensely. Reminds me of a channeling session I did with a client. And he was concerned about the ETs like monitoring him, like especially when he was doing private things like going to the toilet and stuff. And I said, like, they kind of do monitor us all the time. And he was like, how many ETs are monitoring me at this time? And what came through was 7,000. So if you like your privacy, guys, you're living in the wrong era of Earth. And of course, this was because I was channeling, and so a lot of the collective of the Yaya were tuning into the transmission, I believe. So don't worry, I don't think there's normally 7,000 extraterrestrials monitoring you when you're going to the toilet. So yes. So will extraterrestrial contact? Is humanity ready for extraterrestrial contact next year? See if I can do this walking through the town. It's like, I thought I'd show you some of the interesting parts of the town. It can be hard to focus my consciousness onto something like this when there's hola, buenas tardes. I think the kids are maybe taught at school to be polite to tourists, because tourists are a source of income, I don't know, but they're not doing it for that, obviously. They're just very nice people. And so I don't know is the answer. I'd like to say yes, like everyone says, yeah, we're ready. Like they can come round for coffee, come round my place for coffee, whenever they're ready. But in reality, it's too windy up here. Should we go back? I think we need to go back, guys. I think it's too windy. So maybe we go down this way, avoid the wind down here. See this one. So. Yeah, so in my contact experiences, can you hear me? At the party. So in my personal contact experiences, they've been extremely intense. Like, it's a total paradigm shift. I remember my contact experience I had in 2018, where I went into the ship and I had like this missing time in the forest, and when I came back there were fighter jets all flying around my head. That one. I kind of felt like I died, went into another dimension, then got reinserted in this dimension. And that sounds all cool and everything. How exciting, hey? But in reality, it's quite intense. And yeah, in reality, like you go into another dimension. Like this even happens like just when the ship's coming close. Like when they came in fairly close a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago around here. Like everything changes. It like feels like you're in a cartoon, and it's normally quite cool when you're having the experience because it's very high frequency. You just feel great. But it's normally when you come back to physical reality. For one thing, like it opens you up like telepathically, like really intensely. Like you become super sensitive, super psychic. You like feel everyone's energies around you. And I'm still like feeling the fallout. That's not the best word of this contact experience a couple of weeks ago, just where the ships appeared. They were like down, like almost just like down there where that tree is. Like this light appeared in the forest, and then there's a light in the sky, and then everything went like kind of multi-dimensional. Like it feels like you're in a cartoon. I can't explain it otherwise. It's like everything changes. Like everything looks different. Everything looks like more colourful for a start. It's got more colour, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like more like you're in an animation or something. Hello, Pooch. And perhaps you seem more like a dog. And so, yeah, it's and you don't feel like you're a separate being in creation. You just feel like you're part of this game, part of this play, part of this like animation, and like. Usually like the sense of separation dissolves very intensely, and you can have very intense experiences of oneness, and all this is great. Like when you're actually having the experience, it's usually amazing, but it's usually like later in, it's usually like when you come back to physical reality after the experience, whether it's just a few minutes after or a few hours after. Normally you feel like very euphoric for a few hours after the experience. Like political posters everywhere in Peru. It's like that's Alan Oscar, and this is, I don't know, is that his name? Everth. He looks a good guy actually. Some of them look well dodgy. Like, vote for me. So I guess this is all relevant because like I'm doing a video on whether humanity is ready for extraterrestrial contact, and I'm like we're going around perhaps some parts of humanity that a lot of you who will follow my channel probably don't really see on a regular day-to-day basis, because I don't think I've got many Peruvian, or at least not many native Peruvian. Native, is that the correct word? Or natives here on planet Earth. Oh. I think sometimes the ETs see us like running around with spears, like not much more evolved than that. And so, yeah, and it seems to like initiate like the beginning of the end of your human experience. So of course, as we all know, the human experience is an illusion, and like these mind-body spirit complexes, or perhaps more specifically the mind-body complexes, the personality, our human personality, are just temporary. Like everything we think we know we are as human beings is just really conditioning, just really ideas that we've picked up from our society just for this physical life. That becomes very evident as you go through the contact experience. Just checking where I am in the road. Where I am in the road, that's very analogous. It's kind of a metaphor, isn't it, for like where is humanity in the road? Where am I in the road? Where am I in the road towards open contact? Where am I in the road on my own journey? What on earth is that? You hear that? That's a pig. I think a pig squealing and an eagle sound quite similar. So we might have a condor landed telling us it's time to make contact. So, oh my gosh, what's happening to that pig? So, yeah, and of course, like, this is where humanity's at. Like, humanity is still carnivore, and humanity is still predominantly religious and Catholic, Mother Mary in this part of the world, and very easily taught what to think. I don't know if you can see, like, these flags, these are more political flags flying in the background. Like it's ridiculous, isn't it? Like the politicians know, like, how easily, like, people's consciousness is affected, and just a few flags can get you brainwashed. You keep seeing this picture of this politician and you end up voting for him. And so, yeah, so it's telling me to go this way, like this, like the sign. We go this way. Oh yeah, we got some interesting. So this is like Inca work, but this is reproductions of what I believe is, like, some people say it's megalithic. I call it like a reproduction of the Atlantean stuff, high frequency energies. And so yeah, so it's been a bit of a it's a bit windy there. So maybe we stay here. So what to say? Are people still watching this video? I can't think what the minute count is going to be, like the percentage count on this. So it's like, are we ready for contact next year? I mean, I guess, like, open contact doesn't mean like everyone's going to be having like physical interactions with the beings that are going to blow their minds and start the disintegration process of their psyche, of their conditioning, like it's happening to a lot of us that have been on the contact path for a while. So, well, look, it's a full moon, almost full moon. Oh, you can't see. The camera's not that advanced. So we go this way, we risk the wind, guys. I guess if you come this far into the video, a little bit of wind ain't going to put you off. So I don't think it's bad enough to interfere with the audio too much. So, is humanity ready for open contact next year? I don't know, we seem to be going through a big shift. I noticed that, like observing the energies around me, I noticed that a lot of the kids around here seem to be like kind of, I don't know, they're probably already very awake, very self-realised, very conscious, very centred and focused in the present moment. And there definitely seems to be a shift of consciousness occurring on this planet. Things are getting pretty crazy, like politically. Here's the political synchronicity coming in. I see, didn't Donald Trump get raided by the FBI like yesterday or something? And there's all sorts of like fallout from that. Why do I keep using the word fallout? So yeah, so like, and it's all gone crazy. It's all like, it's just getting crazy. Politics in the US is just getting crazier and crazier, isn't it? And so thinking about the video that I was talking about, where I was just a bobbing head. I was probably using this same phone. This is my old phone. I went back to from 2016. And 2016 was the year Trump got in as well, wasn't it? So, well, and you see, talking about how people's consciousness is affected by advertising. You don't see this in the West so much anymore. Or I guess we are in the West here, but you don't see this in modern civilization much more, do you? But we ain't far beyond that. And so, yeah, everything seems to be going very crazy. Like I was saying in my video entitled "Everything Will Change This October," when Donald Trump got into presidential things, so it was kind of a big change. In that video, I was talking about like how Bashar had been talking about for a while about socio-economic collapse, and he can't. I feel like maybe these parts of the world might be stronger because they're, that there's not much to collapse here. It's an awful thing to say, and of course there is, but like it's kind of like they're just like they're just getting their feet into like kind of like a more advanced way anyway. So there's not. I guess it's true. There's not so much to collapse here. Like Western society is super fragile, and like in that video in 2016, I was like saying, like talking about socio-economic collapse. How Bashar has talked about this. How everything's going to collapse. It's a natural part of the shift into the new consciousness, into fourth density, fifth dimensional consciousness. That the old has to fall away to make way for the new, because like the old reality just really isn't like beneficial. Like it's just not a good structure, as we all know. Like it tends to like benefit like a small few more than everyone. It's not very well oriented towards helping people. Is it at all, really? It's like quite good for like helping yourself if you're like an entrepreneur or something like this. Like I'm not totally anti-capitalism, but it's like a lot of people get left by the wayside. Like it's like particularly like in countries like this, it's like the current system that like in the UK and in America isn't like geared towards thinking how it supports like developing nation countries such as this. And so I think the ETs would like to see us more cooperative as a civilization as a whole. I think if we were able to somehow achieve that and begin to cooperate as like one global civilization, like that would like the ETs would be like, "Hey, what is going on with the humans? They've sorted themselves out rapidly. Like we can land now." And it's a more exciting view. And so yeah, like we don't really have our shit together as a planet, as a civilization, do we? We're still like, people are still very selfishly oriented. And I think the secret to becoming less selfishly oriented is to destroy your ego rapidly. I mean, it's just a part of kind of our old evolution. We're very centered in our physical mind, we're very based in fear. I think the reason like most people are selfish, including myself in this, because I notice a lot of selfish tendencies in myself, it comes from fear. Like fear that the universe is not supporting us, fear that like God is not looking after us, fear that I just have to concentrate on myself because I can barely like to get the funds to support myself, financial funds, because so many people are struggling financially at the time. It's like I think if a lot of people like felt more secure in themselves and had a lot less fear in themselves, they would naturally just want to help other people, because like it's like when you feel amazing like 24 hours a day in a constant state of euphoria and bliss like the ETs, like what else are you going to do? Like there's not much left to do but to help other people. You're not just going to sit there, well, you're not, I mean, who's going to walk down the street going, ha 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 ha, I feel amazing, look at you losers. I mean, I guess there's still a little bit of that in humanity, and perhaps there's still a little bit of that in me, not to that extent obviously, but I think the more we can focus on our own spiritual evolution, the more we can focus on our own spiritual awakening, and really try and find some access point. Like if you're watching this and you're like, I don't sure if I believe in that, well, that's just your physical mind and your conditioning and what you were told by society to believe, which is nothing to do with who you are. You can like observe this. If you really observe the thoughts that you have and the beliefs you have, like, is it a coincidence that everything you believe is actually what was drilled into you by the TV and by the media and by your schooling as a child? And like you can look in another country, if you'd have grown up in India, you'd have totally different beliefs, like as opposed to if you like grew up in the West. Like I always found it like really strange, like as I begin to become more conscious, how like everyone like in India believes in like Hinduism and thinks like this is an exaggeration slightly, it's not quite like this so much these days, but it certainly was for a long time. Like everyone in India like believes in Hinduism and doesn't believe in Christianity, and everyone like in America, for example, believes in Christianity and doesn't believe in Hinduism. And it's like guys, don't you just see that like this is because that's where you've been grown up and that's what you've been taught to believe? Like, like it's a bit crazy, isn't it? And I think we need to get back behind the wind shelter tree. And so yeah, so is humanity ready for open contact next year? I think so, because just to the way people are becoming so aware of it and people are becoming so much more interested. And just like 13, 14 years ago when I first got into this, like no one talked about it. If you talked about UFOs or ETs, you were a crazy person. Like no one wanted anything to do with you. Not quite that far. No one, certainly not if you're in a public place and you're talking about it. Yeah, like no one talked about this like 14 years ago when I first got into it. You were a conspiracy theorist. No one even knew what a conspiracy theorist was like 14 years ago. Like, did they? Like, well, conspiracy. What does conspiracy mean? And like, but these days it's totally different. It really is totally different. Like everyone's like heard of UFOs, and everyone's heard of the idea that people believe in UFOs. Like even CNN are like being forced to admit, not CNN, partly CNN. CNN are probably run by the CIA anyway. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Super interesting seeing Tucker Carlson on Fox News, that used to be like the biggest cover-up channel in the universe when I first got into this. Like Fox News like 14 years ago was like non-truth central. But now listening to Tucker Carlson on Fox News talk about like his perspectives on like Donald Trump, and I'm presuming Tucker Carlson is a Republican and that's why he's so more pro-Trump than pro-Democrats, but like anyone like can kind of see there's something going on with what he's talking about, how like the Democrats like seem to be able to get away with whatever they want, and like Trump does a Trump, and like all of a sudden he's getting raided by the FBI. So yeah, I do think we are ready. Next year, like that's a big one. But if you look how far we've come in just 14 years, from the point where like no one wanted, like everyone, you mentioned UFOs to people, they'd either tell you a crazy laugh or this like glazed look would come over their eyes, and they were like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't. And like now, like most people, I mean, it's very different around here because it's kind of part of the culture here. Like the traditional Inca culture is that ETs were their ancestors, and people like do ayahuasca plant medicine here, where you go into other dimensions. And many people have, like just regular people, have like done ayahuasca or perhaps changa, like DMT releasing stuff, and like actually talk to interdimensional beings. Like a lot of, I don't know what percentage of the population here has done ayahuasca. I've got no idea. It's not as high as we would hope, I don't think, but you get a feeling a lot of the people, like some of the elderly women and some of the men, they seem very conscious here, like they've done ayahuasca at some point in their life, and their life has never been the same again. So yeah, guys, so I do think it's a possibility. I mean, when you look at countries like this, countries like Peru, countries like Mexico, a lot of South America, they're very open to this idea. It's been part of their culture for many years. Like Japan, I think Japan is like very open to extraterrestrial contacts. Kind of like people talk about this a lot, have done for longer than in the UK and the US. And like in Mexico, you know, they have Jaime Maussan, like, and I'm not sure if he still has his show, but at one point he probably does, like their weekly show on the TV, like a very popular show, was all about the latest UFO sightings. So a lot of parts of the world are very open to it. So we're looking at the collective conscious here, and how, like, because it all like plugs into like the bigger consciousness, and how like the ETs observe us. And like in the US and the UK, like it's now all over the media. Like the media is reporting it regularly, that there seems to be something going on. like the CIA or those organisations in the US, they keep like teasing us, don't they? They like seem to be admitting, it seems to be releasing more and more information, and then we're saying, now we're going to do an official report on it, and yes, we've seen one little tiny light in the sky, and but we don't know what it is, and we think it's probably nothing, so go back to sleep, nothing to see here. but it's all changing. Like people are like, you know, with people like Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan's podcast is huge now, isn't it? Like loads of people listen to Joe Rogan, and like he's like interviewing all sorts of like different beliefs and different perspectives, and like people, these podcasts like Joe Rogan, they're like bigger than, I think Joe Rogan is bigger than CNN and like Fox News put together with their own weekly viewership, and like Joe Rogan is waking up, and like Joe Rogan is calling the shots. Like, what can you do? I'm not sure what I think to Joe Rogan. I didn't used to like him at all, because he used to say that he believed UFOs and that were nonsense, but he's completely changed his perspective recently, which is another good sign we're on the verge. So can Joe Rogan take us into first contact? Hey Mr. Rogan, hit me up if you want an interview. I'll see you all in another now, guys. Shabbai.